This isn't Istaroth, Columbina is the new moon, and Asmoday betrayed Celestia. Hoyoverse just dropped a major lore bomb, so sit back and relax because we have a lot to discuss. Starting with the beginning of the trailer, we see an older woman recounting the story of the twins.
The ruler of space stopped the golden-haired twin travelers and mercilessly tore them apart.
Given her knowledge of the world and untimely death, she is likely Andersdotter, a member of the Hexenzirkel. Unlike the other mages, Andersdotter was a human and thus had a short lifespan. But during her time in the Hexenzirkel, she wrote many stories that masked secrets of the world, making her a legend that would never end despite being simply ordinary. In the teaser, the woman also drops a book and quill after dying, which is nearly identical to the book and quill used to symbolize Andersdotter in the Mage's Tea Party teaser. Perhaps Andersdotter used her final moments to share direct secrets of the world, which resulted in her being punished by the Shades since she did not use an allegory to avoid detection. Moving on, let's talk about Rhinebarius and Rhinebarius.
You seem to wield my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for your amusement. Although merging with you has stripped me of agency, I shall still continue to voice my disapproval.
After devouring the heart of Rhinebarius, Rhinebarius merged with the Shade of Life. But although merging stripped Rhinebarius of her bodily autonomy, she still seems to hold a degree of mental control over Rhinebarius. When entertaining the idea of utilizing the Heavenly Principle's current state to defy Celestia, Rhinebarius states that she cannot allow Rhinebarius to think like that.
My dear Rhinebarius, you know I cannot allow you to think that way.
This may imply that she can set mental blocks when needed. And you can block your chance of missing out on your favorite characters by checking out a site called Lootbar. Lootbar is a website that offers cheaper top-ups for games such as Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Lootbar is cooperating with the Hoyoverse routing partner so that your transactions will be completely safe, which is why they've received thousands of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Lootbar can save you up to 25% compared to topping up through Hoyoverse. All you need to do is choose the crystal pack you want, enter your server and UID, finish your purchase, and wait a few seconds for the crystals to be delivered. New users can also get a coupon for 10% off, saving you even more money. Other creators such as Dukaja and Tevat Times have also utilized Lootbar to save money while wishing for characters, because there really is no better deal out there. So, if you want to block your losses, just click on the first link in the description and check out Lootbar for yourself. Given Rhinebarius's nickname, Gold, the golden power likely belongs to Rhinebarius, while the blue power belongs to Rhinebarius. With this in mind, Rhinebarius likely assisted in the creation of Irminsul, which would explain her digitized appearance in Rhinebarius's mind. Furthermore, Rhinebarius may have been the one responsible for dropping celestial nails. In addition to the matching color scheme, celestial nails also have the power to repel the abyss, similar to how the power of Kavarena, or rather life, was used to clear the sign of Apaosha, an abyssal sky rift. If so, the cubes that surround celestial nails may be used to contain memories. This would explain why the lumen spars that were altered by the nail in the chasm contained echoes from the heavens above. Meanwhile, Rhinebarius's original power could either be Geo or pure elemental energy, which doubles as memory juice. I can't help but wonder if Hoyoverse intentionally made Rhinebarius's power blue and Rhinebarius's golden to match the theme of Irminsul. Although it radiates golden elemental energy on the outside, the insides are blue, similar to how Rhinebarius's consciousness is trapped within Gold's body. Shade of Life aside, let's take a look at the Shade of Death, Ronova. Compared to Istaroth and Rhinebarius, Ronova seems to take her duties much more seriously, presumably to avoid angering the Heavenly Principles a second time. But what initially stood out to me were her wings, which are nearly identical to the wings seen on the statue of the omnipresent god found in Inazuma. But despite their similarities, I don't actually think the statue is meant to represent Ronova, or rather, it isn't only representing Ronova. Although they share wings, Ronova doesn't have an eye of the storm necklace as seen on the statue, nor does she have a hood. However, the Eye of the Storms are connected to Istaroth, and Rhinebarius has a hood. Rather than representing a single shade, the statue of the omnipresent god may be representing an amalgamation of all 4 shades, wings representing Ronova, a hood to represent Rhinebarius, a necklace to represent Istaroth, and hair to represent Asmoday, life, death, time, and space. Together, they create the omnipresent god. A may have commissioned its creation after the cataclysm to serve as a reminder for what would come if she ever went against the heavenly principles, deny the eternal law, and face the enactors of its judgment. But while on the topic of eternity, let's take a minute to discuss the shade of time, Istaroth. Ronova questions why Istaroth bestowed history upon them.
And you, Istaroth, why did you bestow history upon them?
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not?
Them could be referring to the people the woman was speaking to before she died, if not herself. The symbols on Istaroth's cape look very similar to the ones seen on Lumine's cape. Both Istaroth and the twins also have heavy star and moon imagery, which is interesting when you take the Abyss twins' mentions of time and Istaroth into account. Will we ever truly know just how much of the twins' journeys was fated by Istaroth? Only time will tell. Moving on, let's discuss what has everyone losing their minds. The shade of space, Asmoday, is nowhere to be found.
After all, it's clear that Asmoday is not here.
You're right. There's no trace of Asmoday here. Where has she gone? Anyway, it's time I put this space out of its misery.
Based on what Ronova said, it seems that Asmoday has been missing for quite some time, and the other shades have been searching her cubes, or rather spaces, in hopes of finding her. Her cubes seem to work as soul coffins that act as domains for those trapped inside. Carabert's soul or mind was likely sealed in such a coffin when he got cursed, which explains why he dreamed he was hiding in a little room.
Yes. It feels like I just woke up from a long, long sleep. I dreamed that I was hiding in a little room. I didn't dare go out the whole time, and I didn't want to either.
However, Rhinebarius notes that Asmoday's power had tainted the life within the cubes, giving her no reason to continue using it as what I assume was a test chamber.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
This bears some credence to the theory that Asmoday got corrupted after sealing souls during the cataclysm, which may explain her glitchy arms. After all, we've been told that she's fading away. Perhaps the Traveler lost their power since Asmoday used it as medication after sealing them. But even more interesting are Istaroth and Ronova's guesses for her disappearance.
What if she just switched sides? Finding her would do more harm than good.
We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable, unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
Yes, all of our minds jumped to the floating lavender melon. But in the interest of time, I will wait to address the Paimon-shaped spotlight in a future video. Until then, I'd like to propose another identity for her so-called new master. As we previously discussed, Asmoday seems to have been corrupted, and it's leaking to the life within her cubes. With that in mind, her new master may be none other than the ruler of the Abyss. Throughout the game, we have seen numerous instances of people bowing down and worshipping the Abyss, often becoming so infatuated with it that they start to love it more than themselves. One prime example is Clother Alberich, who felt the innate urge to bow down to Vida Folnir. Furthermore, Istaroth proposed that Asmoday may have switched sides, which implies that Celestia is in opposition to whatever side she went to. And as we've been told numerous times, Celestia's biggest enemy has always been the Abyss, not humanity. Taking this into consideration, rather than abandoning her post to become Paimon and serve the Traveler, Asmoday may be serving the Abyss in its war against Celestia. Loving her new master more than herself may refer to Asmoday serving the Abyss despite it actively killing and corrupting her, which explains why she's currently passing away. Taking a step away from the shades, let's give the Fatui some attention.
I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god? To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this. Behold. Even the gods have their limits.
As expected, the Fatui are looking to kill the heavenly principles. During the Cataclysm, Pierro shared a glance with Ronova before she placed the curse of immortality.
Ronova, do you know that you're being watched? By whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far? I remember those eyes.
His ability to gaze upon Ronova from such a distance raises many questions about what Kaya may be able to do with his covered eye. Perhaps he keeps it hidden to avoid inviting the wrath of the gods as Pierro did 500 years ago. Following along, we get a very suspicious glimpse at Columbina.
Per the Pale Star Edict, we are to retrieve the damselette from Nod Cry, whatever it takes.
The Pale Star Edict was the highest level of command given to the Fatui. We now know the command given is to retrieve Columbina from Nod Cry at any costs. Taking this into consideration, I can't help but wonder if Columbina recently left the Fatui to do her own thing. If not, the Pale Star Edict may have been a command sent out by Pierro without the Tsaritsa's input. Perhaps Columbina is utilizing the freedom that was granted to her by the Tsaritsa in a way he doesn't like, so he's stepping in before she ruins his plans. It's also possible that someone or something is keeping Columbina from leaving Nod Cry, and the Pale Star Edict was enacted to rescue her. Considering that Dottore is also in Nod Cry, Columbina may be a willing participant in his grand experiment, building a god for the Tsaritsa. After all, Scaramouche was merely a test, a proof of concept that a god could be artificially manufactured. If Paimon truly is Asmoday, the new moon may be none other than Columbina, making her Nod Cry's Archon equivalent. But one question remains. Are the Fatui ready for the heavenly principles to awaken? We'll just have to wait and see. Post-video syncs here. Although we went over a lot of things, there are a few more tidbits I left out of the main segment in the interest of time. For starters, we were shown the inside of Celestia. Although it looks otherworldly, the Shades meeting spot matches with the description of Celestia. As stated in the Spiral Abyss description, rumor has it that people who've ascended to Celestia have also witnessed the same helix-shaped divine ladder that can be seen within visions. And as we can see, there is a divine helix-shaped ladder in the middle of their meeting spot. Speaking of their meeting, Ronova's choice of words stuck out to me. When discussing Asmoday's disappearance, Ronova mentions how they were cast as shades, which could have two different meanings. On one hand, she could be referring to the creation of the shades, shadows cast from another light source, which may have been the moons. On the other hand, she may be referring to the roles they were assigned in Tevat's story, similar to how the Traveler was assigned the role of traveling. Moving along, Alice actually showed us the color of the Shades' powers back in version 1.6. During the first Golden Apple Archipelago, Alice had us solve a riddle involving a greedy spirit attracted to crystals. Interestingly enough, the light installations each had their own colors, which we know also correspond with the colors of the Shades' powers, red, blue, and yellow.
Would you look at that? The light being emitted is white, but the installations themselves each have their own color. Red, blue, and yellow.
Honorary Knight, I suggest that you place the crystals in the sea. I believe that this greedy spirit is most likely an ocean-dwelling fish. Greedy spirit, you made the moon run a ring.
An ocean-dwelling spirit being attracted to crystals in shells. Could it be? But what do I know? These are just my outlandish speculations. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and/or subscribing. I hope you all have a great rest of your days, evenings, and nights. See you at the Moonlit Forest.